We heard it before we saw it. A low metallic growl. Not like artillery. Not like distant bombing. This sound moved. Slowly. Deliberately. For years, every unfamiliar noise meant danger. Engines meant raids. Boots meant searches. Knocking meant someone would not return. So when the ground began to tremble that afternoon, no one ran toward the window. We froze. The street had been quiet moments earlier. A woman sweeping dust from her doorway. An old man repairing a cartwheel. Children playing with a rubber ball that had long since lost its bounce. Then the sound came again. Closer now, heavy, grinding. The old man stopped first. He did not look afraid. He looked tired, as if he had run out of ways to react. Someone whispered, "Tanks." The word carried both fear and disbelief. We had seen tanks before. Gray ones, angular, with harsh crosses painted on their sides. Those tanks arrived with shouting, with orders barked in a language that had grown too familiar. But this sound felt different, less frantic, more measured. The first thing we saw was dust, a thin cloud rolling down the far end of the street. Then the barrel appeared, long, steady, turning slightly as it advanced. And then the tank itself, large, rounded in places, its metal surface scratched and dulled by travel. A white star painted boldly on its side. For a moment, no one moved. The tank did not fire. It did not accelerate. It simply rolled forward. Slow, controlled. The tracks crushed loose stones beneath them. The vibration passed through our shoes into bone. A soldier stood half exposed from the hatch. Helmet tilted back, eyes scanning windows and rooftops. Not with cruelty, with caution. Behind the tank, more vehicles followed. But it was the first one that held our breath. The American tank. No one cheered. Not at first. We had learned not to trust sudden changes. War teaches hesitation. A child stepped forward. His mother grabbed his collar immediately, pulled him back. The tank stopped in the center of the street. The engine continued rumbling. Deep, alive. One of the soldiers raised a hand. Not a command, a gesture. Open palm, slowly lowering it, as if calming something fragile. As if calming us. The hatch opened wider. A young man climbed down. Younger than I expected. His uniform dusty. His boots thick with mud from roads we could not imagine. He looked around carefully. Then he removed his helmet. He did not shout. He did not issue orders. He simply spoke. His words were foreign, but his tone was not. Calm, measured, almost gentle. An older woman stepped out from her doorway. Hands trembling, she held a white cloth, not waving it, just holding it, as proof she carried nothing else. The soldier nodded. Another climbed down from the tank's rear. He smiled at a child peeking from behind stacked firewood. It was a small smile, uncertain, but real. That was when something shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough. The old man with the cartwheel straightened his back. A window opened above us. Then another. Faces appeared. Thin faces. Hope-starved faces. The American tank remained still. Its presence massive, protective. Strange how something built for destruction could feel like shelter. One soldier approached the bakery. He knocked gently before entering. We watched, waiting for the familiar crash of boots overturning shelves. But it did not come. He emerged moments later carrying bread. He handed coins to the baker. Coins. No one had paid for bread in years. The baker stared at them as if unsure they were real. A small laugh escaped someone in the crowd. Not loud, not free yet, but genuine. The tank engine finally quieted. The sudden absence of its growl felt almost as powerful as its arrival. The street seemed larger, air lighter. A child dropped his ball. It rolled toward the tank's track. He hesitated. The soldier who had smiled earlier retrieved it. He crouched, returned it carefully. The boy did not run away this time. He stared at the white star painted on the metal. He reached out, touched it briefly, as if confirming it was solid, as if confirming this was happening. I realized then that liberation does not arrive like celebration. It arrives like uncertainty, like stepping on ice not yet tested. We gathered slowly in the square. The American flag appeared from somewhere. Folded, hidden, saved. Someone had kept it all these years. It was not perfect. Edges froze, colors slightly faded. But it was raised, not high, just enough to catch the breeze. The soldiers watched quietly. One of them wiped his eyes quickly when he thought no one noticed. The tank bore scars, dents from impacts, scratches that told stories of roads far bloodier than ours. It had rolled through fire to reach this street, through fields we would never see, through towns that no longer stood. And now it stood here, in front of our homes. Children began to circle it cautiously, touching the tracks, examining bolts, marveling at its size. One soldier allowed a little girl to climb briefly onto the lower edge. He lifted her carefully. Her laughter echoed against damaged walls. It sounded foreign at first, as if the town had forgotten how to hold joy. An elderly man approached the young soldier who had first stepped down. They spoke through fragments of shared language. Broken words, gestures, names of places. The old man pointed down the road where retreating forces had vanished days earlier. The soldier nodded, serious again, duty returning to his posture. Liberation was not the end. It was a passage. The tank would not stay forever. None of them would. They had other towns to reach, other streets waiting in silence. As evening approached, more vehicles rolled in. Medical trucks, supply jeeps. The square filled carefully. Organized, purposeful, no chaos, no shouting. Orders given quietly. Efficiency without intimidation. I stood close enough to feel the tank's cooling metal radiate faint warmth. It smelled of oil and earth and distance. A machine forged in factories across an ocean. Now resting before my doorstep. War had shrunk the world into fear. And suddenly it felt wide again. That night, for the first time in years, no curfew was announced. No boots marched past windows after dark. The tank remained parked at the end of the street. Silent now, guardian-like. People did not sleep immediately. We stayed awake, talking softly, relearning how to speak without whispering. The next morning, the tank moved again. Engine roaring back to life. Children waved openly this time. No hesitation. The young soldier replaced his helmet. He looked at us one last time. Not triumphant, not arrogant, just tired and hopeful. The tank rolled forward, tracks imprinting the dirt road as it left. The white star fading slowly into dust and distance. We watched until it disappeared. And when it did, something remained behind. Not the machine, not the soldiers, but the shift. the quiet understanding that occupation had ended. That fear had loosened its grip. The American tank that rolled through town did not fire a single shot here. It did not destroy a building. It did not shout commands. It simply arrived, and in doing so, it changed everything. Sometimes liberation sounds like thunder. Sometimes it sounds like engines. And sometimes it sounds like metal tracks rolling steadily forward, carrying the possibility of morning with them.